It's amazing to have you here. Thank you so much for being here.
No, it's a great privilege. I mean, I couldn't say no.
What makes somebody like you to come and spend a day with young people?
The youth stand on the shoulders of giants. We stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yes.
You think of Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, Joe Slovo, Bram Fisher. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. And we see further, not because we've got great eyesight, but because we stand on the shoulders of those giants. Importantly, the youth will become giants,
Yes.
and they need nourishment.
Yes.
And these sessions are an important part of providing them with that nourishment. Secondly, at a personal level, because of the job that I do, it's very difficult to do one-on-one mentorship.
Yes.
And
Yes.
my strategy, some people have different strategies, but
Yes.
my strategy on youth and education is to do these kinds of sessions. So when I get
Yes.
invited, I actually make the time because
Yes.
of the leverage effect. So the third reason is
Yes.
it's inspirational. And I
Yes.
think, hey man, this country is amazing.
Yes.
Look at these young people. Clever. The
Yes.
questions I got were
Yes.
absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And as you usually say, Mr. Mali,
Yes.
let me keep it at 3.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll remind me of that guy who said, Madam Speaker, after speaking for several days, that concludes my opening remarks. I can't do that. But, I mean, would be the 3 reasons.
People become despondent
Yep.
about this country and its future. You've always had a different view
Yep.
about it. You remain optimistic about this country.
It's a choice. I believe it's a choice. And you choose things on the basis then of their consequences. Being optimistic makes sure that we make the right decisions. We speak up when it's appropriate. And might I just say, being optimistic is not being naive,
Yeah.
Mr. Mali.
Yeah.
It's understanding that
Yeah.
our country has got the highest crime rates by many measures.
Yes.
That it's got levels of corruption that are just unacceptable. That infrastructure is degraded, ESCOM, Transnet, and so forth. But there are policies and structural reforms that have been spoken about, and many of which are being executed. I want to contribute to the acceleration of those structural reforms,
Yes.
including the building of the soft infrastructure, education,
Yes.
and health.
Yes.
Mr. Mali, that's why I'm here, because of the first one, to
Yes.
say this country has got incredible human capital and incredible human capital potential. It's growing at the moment at roughly 1% GDP. For God's sake, the promise is 4%.
Yes.
And to get to 4%, we need to execute the structural reforms. And to execute those structural reforms, we need to make investments.
Yes.
We need to argue for making the right decisions. We need to
Yes.
speak up when our leaders make the wrong choices, but do so respectfully. I've always tried, and maybe I failed, but I've always tried not to talk too much,
Yeah.
but to speak the truth when I do.
Yeah.
So, in closing on this question, Mr.
Yes.
Mali, there is a fascinating article in a magazine called Foreign Affairs. And their article was in the July-August issue last year. And it's called The Perils of Pessimism. The Perils of Pessimism. It's worth reading.
I see a lot of our leaders spend a lot of time looking at the rear view mirror. What's the danger with that? This notion of always just doing anniversaries, commemorations, but there's no vision of the future.
The definition of a leader actually is somebody who looks to the future, understands the future, understands the past, the present, honors both, but looks to the future and inspires people to aim for a better, brighter, and more successful future. Wallowing in the past prevents you from expanding your energy on the future. Having a vision for South Africa, the continent, and the world, and saying what is possible. What can South Africans do with the massive resources, both hard resources and soft resources, the human capital that we're seeing here today? What can we do with it? So it's about the future. You've got people our age here talking to young people saying, let's look to the future.
Absolutely.
Let's prepare for the future. Let's inspire one another. So I've been inspired by the youth.
You and I were pioneers of banking on the continent. And you sketched a picture of the future of banking on the continent when it was like dark. Talk to me about what that future is, very briefly, of the future of this continent and banking on this continent.
This continent has the best human capital on the planet. The population is young, it's getting healthier, it's getting wealthier, and it's getting greater disposable income. The cities are urbanizing, infrastructure is being built. Take our favorite part of the world, East and West Africa.
Yes.
Think about Nairobi in
Yes.
1980 and think about Nairobi today.
Yes.
It looks in many
Yes.
respects better than our great city of Johannesburg.
Indeed.
This investment, this
Yes.
youth that is learning.
Yes.
Nairobi is now a innovation center globally. The people there are educated. They are driving technology. It's exciting. That part of the world competes with the greatest and biggest and greatest cities in the world. Financial institutions such as Standard Bank are in a position to facilitate that. And Mr. Mali, might I just add in
Yes.
closing on this question,
Yes.
the fastest growing parts of the Standard Bank group are its businesses outside South Africa.
Yes.
I rest my case.
Sim, the last question. Kwame Nkrumah had these words: "We look neither east, we face neither east, no west, we face forward."
Yes.
There's a lot of this noise about whether we should be more closer to China, more closer to America. How do you respond to this? Isn't Kwame Nkrumah right? We should face forward, or should we face east, or should we face west?
So that notion from Kwame Nkrumah is what many leading thinkers, particularly in South America, are calling strategic non-alignment.
Yes.
In South Africa, I think our leaders are calling active non-alignment.
Yes.
What it basically means is you should not hitch yourself on the coattails of any one power,
Yes.
but you must do what's in the best interests of your country, taking account of the fact that the world has become a multipolar world,
Yes.
and do the right thing.
Yes.
And if you are non-aligned, to be truly non-aligned, but make sure that you are looking after the interests of the African continent. We face neither east nor west, we face forward. What's in the best interest of Africa? And that should be the guiding principle whenever you talk to people.
Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence.